Everybody close your eyes real quick and picture this. You're sitting there on your couch, stressed as all get out because you're drowning in debt. Now open your eyes. Has anything changed? For most people, it hasn't. A lot of people in this country are struggling with debt, and in today's video, we're going to be going through the actual steps necessary to get out of it. Because a lot of people say, oh, just get out of debt, get out of debt. That's easier said than done.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting to spend it and be broke again.
So welcome back to the Two Bros in a Budget YouTube channel. I'm your bro Ryan.
And I'm your bro Taylor.
Now, if you're one of those people that is drowning in debt, just know you are not alone. Let's look at just some of the statistics on how bad it's really gotten. American households carry a total of $18.04 trillion of debt and average $105,000 per household. Credit card delinquency rates are increasing, reaching levels not seen since 2008. Total auto loan debt stands at $1.655 trillion, with the average loan debt at $24,300. So after we saw these statistics, we were honestly kind of mind blown. We knew a lot of people were in debt. We knew the news is covering this nonstop, and we knew it was getting worse and worse. But again, we didn't realize how bad it's actually gotten. So with this video, our purpose is to put together a 7-step actionable plan, not just pay off that debt, go make more money, but actual actionable steps that you can take today and work through to then pay that debt down to nothing, where you're debt free and you can scream at the top of your lungs that you are debt free.
So let's start with step 1, obviously. Now, this may seem a bit obvious, but unfortunately it isn't for everyone, so we are going to include it. Stop adding to your debt. A lot of people are in this endless cycle of just keep charging their credit card. Right. And I mean, it just builds and builds and builds to where eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be extremely hard to get out from under that avalanche that you've put on yourself. So stop adding to your debt, cancel any subscriptions that you don't need. Anything that's non-essential, you need to cut from your life.
And if you just absolutely can't stop for whatever reason, you're addicted, or every time you go out, you have to use your credit card, literally cut the credit card up where it's not usable. Take it off Apple Pay. Don't try and let yourself cheat, and make sure you're not adding to that debt. Again, we're too far in. We got to get out of this. Now, step 2, you're going to want to create a monthly plan. So within this step, you're going to want to prioritize your needs over your wants. Kind of get rid of a lot of the fun things you love. Stop going out to bars. Obviously, you don't want to get rid of everything because you will eventually burn out in that case, but you do want to really dwindle that down to try and get as much money free as possible.
Yeah.
You're also in this step going to create a zero-based budget. We talk about budgets all the time. We have videos on budgets all the time. So this is not a budgeting video, but this is super important step. So I do want to emphasize it. And a zero-based budget is just basically giving every single cent, every single dollar you make a job. So at the end, you can go, I made $4,000 and $4,000 are accounted for. I know exactly where every dollar is in my account.
Yeah, guys. So if you were hoping for a video that was kind of this trick or hack that a lot of people like to talk about and advertise, that's just not the reality. Get rich quick schemes don't exist. Getting out of debt for no life changes doesn't exist. The reality is you are going to have to make sacrifices and cutbacks. And I mean, if you know yourself and it's hard for you to stick to a monthly budget, break it down week by week. Whatever helps you stay true to what you need to is the step you need to take. Now, that next step that we would recommend at step 3 is building a starter emergency fund. This is huge because the reality is most people don't have a lot of savings in their bank account where things do just pop up. It's going to happen. So the reality is start with $1,000. That's a good base level right there. Eventually we want to work up to, 3 to 6 months expenses, but that's a little bit down the line. We just want to be able to get to a good base level.
And you might think, oh, wait, I thought highest priority is to pay off the debt and get out of the debt. Why am I already creating a big savings account? It's because when an emergency comes up, you almost always, if you don't have the money, are going to put it on a credit card. Mm-hmm. It's the natural thing to do. So if we have that small emergency fund, next time the dishwasher breaks, you don't have to put it on the credit card, and it can hopefully help you save again and keep going down and bring that debt lower and lower. So now that you've saved that emergency fund and we're looking towards that next step, we're looking at step 4. We're going to start paying down that debt and figuring out the right plan to do it. So our first option is going to be the debt snowball method. We have a video on this and we've talked about this extensively. Again, this is just going to be a quick and dirty of these options. So with the debt snowball method, you're going to pay all your debts you have at a minimum. So you're going to put the minimum payment you have. Then the smallest debt you have, smallest amount, you're going to take anything extra at the end of the month and you're going to put it on top of that. And you're going to keep attacking that smallest as much as you can. And then Once that one's paid off, you're going to take everything you had going at that smallest debt and you're going to move it to the next smallest. So now you have the next smallest minimum payment plus everything that went over. And so you can see how that snowball builds and builds until you get to that higher debt and you're making hundreds or $1,000 payments because all these little minimums built up and built up, as well as anything extra you had at the end of the month.
Yeah. The next option that we do also have a video on that goes into a little bit more detail is the debt avalanche method. Now this one prioritizes the highest interest debt instead of just the lowest overall amount. So anything that's super high, typically this is credit cards for a lot of people, is the one that you want to attack first because you're just hemorrhaging money out of those high interest debts. So once you finish that highest interest debt, you just move to the next highest. So let's say you had a credit card that was at 32% interest, you finish paying off that one, you move to your, say, loan that has a 15% interest. Once you finish that, you move to your, say, car loan that's at an 8% interest. Whatever it may be, you just keep working down and knocking off those highest interest debts. Now, heading into step 5, we don't want to oversimplify this step, but it is best to add some income. Now, I know that maybe like, oh, I was hoping I wouldn't hear that one. The reality is you've been acting in a deficit. Your habits have had you earning this much and you've been spending this much. So while we also want to bring down that amount we're spending, it's best if we can actually increase the amount we're making. That way we can pay off that balance that's been lingering over our head this whole time. So whether that being through a side hustle or picking up some extra shifts, I know no one likes to do it, but you volunteer, yeah, I'll take my coworker shift on Saturday or whatever. I mean, those are the steps necessary to get out of debt. I mean, you heard those steps at the beginning. Trillions of dollars of debt is just insane. So drastic measures do have to be taken.
And there's a variation of levels to side hustles and different things like that. We can make a whole video on that. Sometimes you do have to drive for Uber. Sometimes you do TaskRabbit, which is like a side where you can do handy projects. There's just a million options. I looked at getting my car wrapped, and every time I drove, I earned, I think, 30 cents a mile or something like that. There's just a million options. Look at what fits your schedule, your lifestyle, what your job offers, and just figure out any way you can possibly make extra money. If you can't, there's just no way. I don't want to give you an out, but there's just whatever. No,
I'm not giving you an out.
No
He's
way.
giving you the out.
Then we understand. Just skip this step. At
I
that
don't
point.
understand. You can go around your house right now and find something to sell on Facebook Marketplace.
That's another great option. So step number 6 is going to be negotiate and consolidate debts. So this is going to be one that actually, instead of paying down on the debt, you can maybe decrease how much you owe each month, and that'll quickly help you. So a lot of times if you're delinquent in anything, you can call and try and get it, one, off your report and help your credit score. But sometimes credit card companies you can call and there's an interest rate promotion. I know probably once, twice a year, Discover Credit offers me like crazy promotion of 0.1% interest rate on my credit card, not a savings account, my credit card, which blows my mind. And I always accept it because why not? Even if I don't use the card, like it's super handy. But sometimes they'll offer that or work with you. Sometimes they'll forgive missed payments. There's different things like that you can work with them. So it's never a bad idea to call.
Yeah, and going right along with that consolidation, we have a video out there already of some of the best credit cards that offer 0% intro bonuses on balance transfers and everything. So that's a great way to at least escape that high debt that you've been in. Like if, I have this balance of $5,000 and I'm getting charged at 32%. Let me transfer that to another card where it offers a 15-month intro period where it's not going to charge me any interest. Now, it will charge you a fee for transferring it. Don't think that you're getting out of this scot-free. But it is a way that if you know you're going to be paying this off, let's say in that 15-month period, it's a great way to stop the hemorrhaging, so to say. Again, we've kind of hinted at this, but also just simply refinancing. I'm sure some people have already looked into this. A lot of people do it with their student loans, but refinancing to get better terms or, a little bit of a break or forgiveness in your payment plan can be super beneficial in helping you get out from maybe some of the other debts that you have, or just simply getting a jump start on that one.
So lastly, step 7 is you're going to have to commit to continuously monitor. I know that doesn't sound super fun, but we've got all these steps that you can quickly go and start attacking and figuring out what's next and going through. But at that point, it's still going to take time to get through all of that debt. And that's where this step comes in. And you're just going to have to monitor. You're going to have to update your budget weekly or however it works, bi-weekly. But weekly would be best, especially in the beginning. And just there's so many tools out there that we've made videos on as well to help you track all of these options. We actually have a video coming out soon about that. And so please use those to your advantage. And just, again, make sure you're not missing payments and you're consistently monitoring and checking all of those different situations.
So if you tuned into this video hoping like, I was hoping to find a way to get out of $20,000 of credit card debt by the end of this month, I mean, that's just not a reality. Despite, some people being like, there are these short of declaring bankruptcy, which has its drawbacks, We haven't gone into that in this video, but that definitely is something that's kind of a last line of resort. So following these steps and being dedicated is really the one and true way of getting out of debt. So as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any other advice for people down below, or you want to share your experience getting out of debt, that would be very encouraging for a lot of people. I mean, we'd love to see it ourselves.
Absolutely.
But as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you liked it or if you want any other specific content. And as always, we'll see you guys next week.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.